Rachel Zegler. That's right, my buddy. Yeah, my buddy Rachel. Yeah, that's right. I know. You guys remember. And if some of you don't remember, yes, she quote tweeted one of my tweets calling me out. This was a few months ago. This is before Shazam came out? Yeah, right? Or around Shazam? I don't know. I think it was before. Because obviously she was in Shazam and, you know, she just kind of brought up in an interview that she walked up to Adam Brody and told him that she had a huge crush on him when she was a kid. And I just thought, wow, way to make things awkward. And I made that comment because, yeah, it is kind of awkward. It'd be even more awkward if Adam Brody walked up to Helen Mirren and said that. You better believe it. When, you know, when it's flipped, it gets even more awkward. But, you know, it's fine. And then she called me out, which is fine. Go ahead, call me out. That was a fun day. It was a fun day. I was like, bring it. Bring it, you freaking simps. There's a video of like a montage of her talking about Snow White, which is funny because these interviews have been out there for a bit. Before we get into those videos, one of the things what's interesting about Rachel Zegler and just kind of diving into her career, because she kind of just came out of nowhere. And it's interesting. And I want to bring this up because she has a very interesting career. How her career started when it came to acting and singing, she has a great voice, by the way. I'll give her that. A great voice. She was very much into musicals, like stage, all that, theater and everything. And she did a lot of musicals when it came to Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Shrek. She did a lot of those stuff. Les Miserables, Legally Blonde, all that. She did all that. And then, of course, where she got basically, I guess you could say, discovered is she had a YouTube channel where she did covers of 2 Lady Gaga songs, Shallow and A Star is Born. That blew her up. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, so Steven Spielberg was like, hey, I'm doing West Side Story, so let's get her. She's got the pipes to do it. Okay, cool. So did that. So then she went from that movie, got cast in Shazam, DC Machine, DC superhero sequel. Okay, now she's in Shazam. Sweet. And then after that, she got cast in the prequel to Hunger Games. And that's going to be coming out later this year. And then after that, she got cast as Snow White. Disney Machine. Okay? Snow White. And then after that, Paddington. 3rd movie of a beloved franchise. You guys see where I'm getting at here? Has she done anything original? I'm not trying to throw shade. It's interesting. Hey, good on her. Good on her. Okay? Good on her. Success. But I'm just kind of going, man, she just got pulled out of like theater and YouTube into the franchise machine right away. And I'm just kind of saying, just being pulled into that real quick she could fall out of it real quick because let's face it, Shazam, Hunger Games, is that going to even make a splash? Do anybody care about Hunger Games, the prequel to Hunger Games? Maybe it will. Maybe it will. I'll check it out. I'll see it. Snow White, that's where the problem is lying right here.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
That's right, guys. The love story of Snow White, she refers to it as, oh yeah, there's a guy that literally stalks her. So kind of putting the negative connotation. I don't really remember Snow White too much. Again, I wasn't a Disney kid. Maybe that is the case. But it just seems like if you're selling the movie, the live action movie, that's not the way to sell it.
Weird.
So we
didn't do that this time. Cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
See, and then she says stuff like that. Yeah, maybe they'll just cut out the dude. You know? Fuck the dude. Who cares? Who needs the dude in this movie?
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Oh, you poor thing. You had to sit around in a dress for 18 hours on a chair, possibly a cushioned couch, with a bunch of food around you and people like doing your beg and calling. Well, Jesus Christ, once I worked a 24-hour shift on top of a church in Compton upgrading the cell site, I should be paid for everyone who gets to use that cell site.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it
She
once
was scared.
and I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it.
I've been on that ride. It's not scary.
Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film. It's no longer 1930.
Okay, it sounds like she's not as much of a fan of Snow White as she claimed to before when she's saying stuff like that. Hadn't watched it in a long time. Okay.
37. And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going
God forbid! God forbid, guys! God forbid!
to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about
True love? Who the fuck wants that nowadays? My God. It's all about crypto and money and aliens. Okay.
becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. Reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago. It's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
Again, not going to be saved by the prince.
One, and she's the one who set the terms.
Okay.
Is what makes it so relevant to where we are.
Okay. I get it. Modernize it. Yes, it was made 85 years ago. Modernize it, totally fine. But if it's going to be taking place back then, I mean, you could update it a little bit, tweak some things. But you don't have to but she is not selling it too well when it says certain things where maybe she's just joking, being facetious. But the way I'm looking at it is, and this is why I wanted to say in the beginning of how, she's young and she just got pulled right into this whole franchise machine. It seems like it just doesn't really know exactly how to sell this thing quite yet. And maybe her PR people are like, whoa, and who knows what's been happening now, because this is all over the place now. All over the place. And maybe she just needs to be a little bit coached up on how to handle the PR when it comes to all this, the interviews and everything, and maybe just a little bit, pull back on a little bit of what you're saying, because it's not looking good. I've seen people, even who were supportive of it, even go, wow, this doesn't put it in a good light. This doesn't put her in a good light. Another thing too is what I see, obviously I always talk about that certain side of the Twitter, or not Twitter, but YouTube, that just shit on everything. They say everything's woke and everything like that. And all the videos that are going around, it is kind of funny because, I want to shift over to them and I go, hey, you guys over here that are complaining about all this, do you really give that much of a fuck about Snow White? Is that one of your favorite Disney princesses? Are you just they better do it just like how it was back then? No, you don't. You don't care. You just want to bitch about it, and she gave you the ammo to bitch about it. That's the way I was kind of look at it too. I was like, no, you guys don't really care about that, so why are you guys bitching about it? But she does need to be coached up, and I think this is just because she's so young and she's so new and she just like I said, she got yanked into all this. She doesn't know exactly how to answer some of these questions when it comes to all this. She's trying to be as progressive as possible, sure, but yeah, they need to reel her in just a little, just a little, I think. So that's my take on all that.